Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Argon. So right now, for DPS characters in endgame, at least for the new trial, the Crown of Keldagon, running an augment companion appears to be the best strategy, because active companions just seem to die a whole lot and then just can't output much damage within those later phases. So many DPS characters will be running the Owlbear Cub, mainly because it's the only augment companion that has this enhancement that gives a bonus to 3 offensive stats: accuracy, combat advantage, and critical severity. So with that being the only augment that gives 3 offensive stats, you can see a sheet here that shows all of the augmentation stats that those other augments actually give you. And you can see that the Owlbear Cub is the only one that gives 3 offensive stats. Now this is going to change with an upcoming event. So before you go to your auction house and spend nearly 3 million astral diamonds on an Owlbear Cub, you might want to hold off on that a bit. Wait until this event comes around. And what am I talking about? Have a look in the calendar, and upcoming we have the Feast of Lanterns. It's been pushed to starting at February the 10th. So that's less than 2 weeks away, and we can view the event details. And within it, this year round, we have the Year of the Tiger, and thus we'll be able to earn a Festive Tiger companion. You might think, what's an active companion gonna do in comparison to an augment? In fact, this Festive Tiger is an augment, strangely enough. You'd think all tigers would be active, as all of them that have used this frame, we've had like panthers, we've had tigers, and all of them have been active companions that deal damage. Now this one, I guess, is going to be a little bit smaller. We can't rotate it or view in anything. I assume they're still adjusting that. But we can see with its stats and powers, it has an enhancement, like all augments, that gives combat advantage, critical severity, and Forte. Meaning it's very, very similar to the Owlbear Cub, but instead of giving accuracy, it gives Forte. So depending on what class you are, this new augment companion might be better than just using the Owlbear Cub. For example, let's switch to my rogue, and here I have my trial setup, and I'm using this Owlbear Cub as my main active companion because of the stats it gives, and that gives me a massive boost to my accuracy, combat advantage, and critical severity. Now if I switched then to this new companion, the Festive Tiger, I'll basically lose my accuracy. Now, many of you might think accuracy is actually in fact the worst stat to be using unless you have a lot of it. Now, instead of accuracy, we're gaining Forte. And Forte will depend on your class entirely. We zoom in here and we can see that on a rogue, Forte bonus is power, combat advantage, and deflect severity. So this can be pretty good, and with a mythic enhancement here, 7,500 to each of those 3 statistics, we're essentially gaining 3.75% power and half of that in combat advantage and deflect severity. So we need to have a look at the math here. So which is better, using the Owlbear Cub or using the new Festive Tiger to give you the Forte instead of the accuracy? We have a look then at this sheet here, this Excel sheet, and we can see we put in our stats. You can see the difference here. Let's say I would run the Tiger and I would gain the extra 7.5% Forte there. Then this would be my combat advantage. If, let's say, I switched to the Owlbear instead and thus didn't have my combat advantage capped, and it would be the same with the power there, you would lose the 3.75%. And so you can see that the Owlbear Cub does become a little bit better just through the whole 7.5% accuracy that you would gain from going from 72.5% accuracy to 80% accuracy. With that said, you can see you will lose about a 0.5% damage difference by using the Tiger instead of the Owlbear. Now again, this is the Festive Tiger that we will only be able to access in about 2 weeks. We can see again on the calendar, this will be February the 10th. That's to celebrate the Chinese New Year. So again, if you want to go more of a budget option, you can wait for this Festive Tiger. All you will have to do is partake in that event and everybody could pick up that companion. The only drawback is it's going to be a green companion, so you're going to have to spend quite a lot to upgrade it. Again, you ideally want to get it to purple, and then once you're on purple, you use companion upgrade tokens. Lower than purple, generally it's better to use astral diamonds. Again, you can always check the pricings of your actual companion upgrade tokens on your auction house, and you can see a little bit later than that we'll also get the trade bar discount, which will allow you to get 33% off upgrade tokens within the trade bar store. Again, that's just down here in your inventory, and you can find it there, your mount upgrade tokens and also your companion upgrade tokens. They become only 2 trade bars per token, which is pretty cheap. Now let's quickly take a little step further in terms of the math. We want to look at what class you are, because depending on your class, you shall gain different offensive stats depending on that class. We can see a rogue and a wizard does have combat advantage as its forte, and thus this would be the damage difference if you, let's say, used the Owlbear Cub, lost some of those stats, and then gained them with the Festive Tiger to get capped. You can see then with the Bard, Cleric and the Barbarian with crit severity, the difference gets even a little tiny bit bigger to 0.577, and then with accuracy on the Ranger and the Fighter, the difference gets up to 0.6%, and then with crit strike forte on the Warlock, that's the same as the crit severity with the 0.577. That is less than, keep in mind, a 1% difference in damage. That's nearly half a 1%, 0.577. And with your combat advantage, that's even closer to just half of a 1% difference. So in my opinion, it's not worth to spend 3 million on an Owlbear Cub just to make that difference if you don't already have an Owlbear Cub. Of course, you're going to have players where money is not an object, or astral diamonds at least isn't an object, and then this price is not a lot. Now we also got to put into consideration, let's say instead of not being capped when you're using the Owlbear Cub, you just shift all your stats so you lose a bit more accuracy, so that when you do use your Owlbear Cub you would be capped. And we'll go down here and you can see now we're capped on everything, and basically the difference in accuracy is the difference in the offensive stats you would gain. You can see a total of offensive stats is the sum of this, which is 5.63%, and if we put all of that into accuracy, we're left at 0.7813 compared to the Owlbear Cub giving you the 7.5%, and thus the damage difference is still even less than 1% with that difference in accuracy. So even if you manage to balance around your stats, you're still losing less than 1% damage by using the Festive Tiger instead of an Owlbear Cub. And this Festive Tiger, everybody will be able to obtain from this event. All you will have to do is log in every day, do one quest or two, you can get your tiger coins, and once you've done so and the event is, I believe, over, you'll be able to buy your Festive Tiger. You can also spend Zen to basically buy event currency, I'm sure, and I'll make some guides on the event and how you can complete it nice and quickly. Otherwise, the companion in itself will give you precision there as its bonus, and then its offensive power is pretty useless, giving just move speed and crit chance. As for its augmentation enhancement, that is what you want to be using this for as summoned for end game players in especially the new trial. So again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going, and if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.